Well, it's interesting because technically there should be very little impact on U.S. firms because we have something called equivalence. And the way equivalence works is if you're, say, a U.S. firm and you're regulated by the Securities Exchange Commission in the United States, the European Securities and Markets Authority, ESMA, would consider that an equivalent regulatory regime. And so if you are SEC regulated, you wouldn't necessarily have to comply with MiFID. However, that doesn't go far enough to really understand what you have to do. If you have an instrument that's, say, cross-listed across Europe, and you're an ATS here in the United States with, say, a depository receipt on a German company, you may have to do basic MiFID compliance in order for a buy-side firm in Germany to be able to consider trading on your venue versus trading on the German venue. You may have to have some level of MiFID compliance to allow them to do their reporting so that they can actually participate in your markets. So that's one example. Another example would be if you have a buy-side firm coming into the U.S. marketplace, you may be requested to start producing legal entity identifiers for yourself and others. So one of the common themes is at least you can do is be MiFID friendly by acquiring a legal entity identifier if you're a U.S.-based firm. Now let's take the other side, which is if you're a U.S. buy-side. If you're a U.S. buy-side and you're actually participating in European markets, you may be required to actually report additional information, such as your legal entity identifier, to participate in those markets. So, and it ratchets up from there. So it really depends on what role you're playing and what instruments you're actually trading and who you're trading with will determine the amount of your compliance with MiFID and how much you're going to have to change your systems and business processes to be MiFID compliant. Well, we're at sort of the end of quarter two. We have basically 2 quarters left in which we have to all achieve a high level of MiFID compliance. I think the good news is for all of us in the industry that while the January 3rd date's not going to move, I think that the regulators understand that there has to be a little bit of flexibility in terms of people achieving full compliance in terms of their reporting and data gathering. So there'll be a little bit of ease off, I think, and a little off. But I think right now it's not too late for companies to take a more comprehensive perspective in terms of project management. And it can be something simple as establishing a checklist by all of the RTSs, which are the technical specification documents, and then across your matrix, deciding what is the area of impact in every area of our business, and what are we going to have to do to make sure that our trading and executions are not interrupted as other firms also start to adopt and roll out their changes for FIX. So I think focusing on project management, starting to inventory and decide what can be deferred, as opposed to what needs to be done now is another important aspect about this. And then doing just traditional risk management that you see. What are your top 10 risks? Try to analyze those and try to manage those on a regular basis. And I think that you'll find that that'll sort of pull together and identify what you really need to make the January 3rd, 2018 date and be successful.